Yeah, so, and even if your polygamist girlfriend doesn't cheat on you, like you have all the tech surveillance to make it so it's impossible, you can have emotional affairs with people. There are ways you can always get around it, and it still sucks to just be owned by someone. Oh. Am I gonna sew my blankets? Yeah. The fuck is there a van turning around in the driveway? What did I say now? Well, it might just be life. Yeah, I need to sew my blankets real bad. Do I have to add in flannel, my mom's flannel sheet? Do I have to ask my mom permission to sew her flannel sheet into my blankets? Let me just break this down for you. If you use anything except flannel, you are mistaken. If there's anything touching your body when you sleep, that's not your pillow. It has to be flannel. Period. But your pillow, yeah, your pillow can get too sweaty. You might, but even then, I still wonder. But no, my new pillow has a cooling side, but I still wonder, flannel plus cooling? Is flannel the most breathable? Yes. Is flannel the most warm? Yes. Is my mom going to say, yes, you can sew my flannel sheet into your blankets, and while she disapproves or doesn't think it's a good idea to sew these blankets together to begin with? Well, I can just go to Value Village then and get my own flannel sheet. It'll cost $10. That's nothing. Do I need a fourth blanket to sew in? Then it'll get to the realm of, well, you shouldn't do that because it's too thick. It's going to hurt the machine. Yeah, but I know it's going to sound like I'm being argumentative, but I've sewn through thick denim, through the seams in thick denim. Just sewing through denim is nothing. The machine can easily handle denim, even like a couple layers of denim, probably even a few. But the seams on the denim, which are super thick, sewing through those, that can actually give the machine trouble. And I know from that experience, using this same machine, that sewing through a few blankets is nothing. It's easily going to do that. And maybe you actually don't really know that. And that's fine. I'm not a jerk. I'm not going to be like, well, fuck you, it is how it is, and you better listen to me. Okay, I can actually tell you, like, here's the reason I know this, and like, please help me learn how to use the sewing machine again, because I forget, and just tell me where it is, because I know it's somewhere in the spare bedroom, but I don't know where it is, and I need your help for this. And like, please just help me set it up and let me do my own sewing, or do it for me, but probably do my own sewing. Yeah, and she wouldn't do it for me. I wouldn't ask her that. I'd ask someone else, but with that person, it would be a huge argument to do it. They'd say, well, just get the right blanket in the first place. I'll go out and buy you the right blanket right now. In which case I'd say, yeah, I like your reasoning better. You're actually way smarter. But then, we'd fight. We'd have to go on a trip and we'd fight probably. We'd have some issue, and I don't know, it would just... So, fuck, I gotta pee again. I shouldn't say that. Maybe we wouldn't. You know, it took me a while to learn how to communicate with my mom. And that is extending into other members of the family. It's sad that by the time you learn how to communicate with someone, they're already dead. It's nice when you can learn it early. My pee is really beautiful colored. I was imagining last night peeing on a bunch of pigs' faces. And just thinking, this is what you want. I don't even care about this. And that's also what you want. You want this not even to be arousing to me. And that's what arouses you about it. That I literally don't even care. You want my pig daddy approval? I had these dad's cookies, and I was just staring at a dad's cookie, these oatmeal cookies. I was thinking, could you imagine if I just ate that right now? How good that would be. Something that I normally eat resentfully. No, I don't like a dad's cookie. You know what a dad's cookie is? It's a cheesecake lining. If you want to, dad's cookie is what you dip your icing in. It's not a standalone treat. You know, I was looking at a dad's cookie like it actually was my pig daddy. Thinking, oh, it's so balanced, it's so light. I could just eat a million of them. Ooh, yeah, the oatmeal. Oh my God, and even without the chocolate, it's fine. And it's sealed. Fuck, why is this coming off? And it's sealed too. You know, I'm not, YouTube, please don't censor me. I wear a foreskin restoration device that's coming off and I have to readjust it. This is not masturbatory. Okay, my wiener is super small right now. It's like the smallest it's ever been. And I did not derive pleasure from that. It was just like, you know, regular, it was just regular, you know, business. But yeah, how I feel about ordinary people. They're like, did you know that Trump knew about the Epstein? Oh my God. Who cares? Aren't 90% of people aware that we're live streaming infants and harming them physically on live stream? Isn't the whole world aware that this is going on everywhere around the whole world, and you're just gonna pin it on one person? You fucking ordinary person? Is that what an ordinary person is? I'm happy to see it, really. Sometimes I need to see the hypocrisy of people. Because I trust them too much. I have to remember, you know, a true ordinary person is not the same as an ordinary person. An ordinary person is trying to be special and is a total hypocrite and doesn't care at all about who they are. And a true ordinary person, on the other hand, is actually just ordinary. Now, I don't know if most people are actually ordinary people or true ordinary people, because as far as the news paints it, most people are, in the comment section in the news, ordinary people, not true ordinary people. But that could be a psyop. So actually most people could be true ordinaries. And that would actually kind of feel true to me. I wouldn't be surprised. That I kind of do think that, like, you know, if some gang stalker hurts me, I actually believe I can just tell the other gang stalkers, like, look what they did, help me, and actually people will. Actually, like, I do trust in the goodness of humanity. And there are going to be some gang stalkers who say, are you talking about me? No, I'm not talking about you. And, you know, I mean, the ones who are saying, are you condemning me? Are you saying I'm the one who hurt you? No, I'm not saying that. I'm in a Zen fucking meditation right now. I'm not thinking about that. And even if I was, I would be thinking about your uplifting as a human. If you're fucked up, just hypothetically, I'm not saying you are, but I would be looking at it from the perspective of helping you as a friend. I know you're not supposed to say that. I know, helping me? Who the fuck do you think you are? I know that that's the response. Okay, I understand. I have an ego too. I understand. Don't tell me anything or I want you to drown in lava. Okay, I understand. I have an ego too. But I mean, like, I have, like, I'm rooting for you. That's what I mean. I'm not trying to give you anything. My morality, my memoirs. I'm not trying to change you. But when I'm in a positive light, then my eyes are positive. Everyone I see in a positive light. God, the fucking visuals I'm getting are so far beyond. It's like these patterns. I wish I could describe it. It's, you know, I could paint it really. But the problem would be, as soon as it's so changing, you try to get a snapshot of it, and you can't even remember it because you're already mesmerized by what's happening next. And it's so clear, you could describe it exactly, but you can't even focus on it because it keeps changing. I think that's what ego dissolution is. It kind of breaks your, you know, Osho says it's false, you know, if you do false spirituality is LSD. Don't confuse it with the real. But he also says, you know, I just have to say no drugs allowed because our commune will get shut down. Really, they are revolutionary. And then he says revolutionaries never do anything, because look at what every revolution has brought. Name one revolution that has brought anything. Isn't the world still just full of shit? Aren't we just still in the same rut we've always been in? What revolution has ever helped? Maybe context is different sometimes. Oh, I'm so weak. you want to come in the kitchen with me? Well, I'll bet you wish. You'd wish to see what I'm doing in here. I feel like a bore sometimes, but when I was in love with Chelsea, anything, like if I could just hear her walking, if I could just like read one thing she wrote, it would keep me going for years. I think the movie with Robin Williams where he played this stalker named Cy, and he had this fantasy where he took a shit in the he took a shit in the house of one of the people he was stalking, well, imagining that they were together as a family. And it wasn't like sexual or anything. It was just like he wanted, but vicariously it was. And he wanted just to believe that he was part of this family. And the way he'd validate that was by doing something so ordinary as taking a shit. And I felt like with Chelsea, I really was a real sigh. I think Chelsea was the sigh. I just wanted to see her in normal life. And Owen Cook talked about that when he'd meet famous people, like prime ministers or people like that. He wanted to see them just how they are at dinner. He wanted to see that they're just normal people. Tyler got beat up when he was young, I think by his dad. I don't know that. You know, I'm just guessing here, but I know he got beat up. And, I don't know if it was as a kid though, but I know he made a comment once about how if you want to fight, I've been through that. I can deal with that. And he said he used to just lay in a snowbank when I think he was like 15 or something, and he would just lay in a snowbank all day for like 6 hours. You just do nothing. I thought, Tyler, that's my whole life. It's the best. Oh, I wonder too about the frequency of busting a nut. Because he says he has sex for like 6 hours at a time. I wonder if he's just numb. And if he actually is going anywhere with it. I mean, when you don't bust a nut, for a long time, it's harder to make you bust. There's a lot more progression through it. And after not busting for 8 days, well, water fasting, I feel immensely more qualified to take care of my pigs. Araj had a point. He said, when you meet a girl, she knows how often you jack off. And Osho had a point. Someone's like, why do you keep condemning gay guys? You know, we're lesbians and we really don't like it. And he said, I never condemned lesbians. You're not dyke out all you want. It's not going to make you retarded. It's not like it's going to make you blind. And I'm being deliberately saying that because I know people say, masturbation makes you blind? That's not true. We already have science to prove it's not true. Well, it takes away your focus, doesn't it? If you're a soccer coach for a world competition, you're probably going to be saying, don't bust a nut for the week before. If you bust a nut and try to focus on something afterwards, your focus is going to be less sharp. The refractory period does have a ripple effect that goes into the days outward. And that's just hardcore science. And then, so as a pig master, can you just be satisfied with something higher than sex? Like, has your chakras gone higher than your root chakra? Have you actually moved up into your belly, into your heart, into your head, and out your crown? Have you actually integrated your horniness to become part of your humanity? Have you transcended your animality and become a human yet? Or are you just one of those, a woman fakes the orgasm, but the guy fakes the entire relationship? Are you just one of those? Yeah, it's better to go higher. It's like, I would think, Marina, you just pissed me off. What could you do to help me? Give me a BJ? Maybe, but I wouldn't even want to waste my energy on something like that right now, on something so unromantic. I would rather stick my tongue up your butt and then call it even, or something like that. But, you know, I wouldn't want to bust a nut over it. What are you trying to do? Sabotage me with all my other pigs? Now, am I Psy right now? No, because I'm not breaking into your house and taking a shit in your toilet. I'm not stalking you. I actually respect your privacy. If I actually could literally watch you on hidden camera, I wouldn't. If there was a way for me to do it and no one would know, I wouldn't. Because I would feel then the same humiliation as a guy who pays for sex. And I know how deeply humiliating that is, and I wouldn't want to do that to myself. Yeah, you can be a slave in China and build my e-bike. I don't give a fuck. You can get trafficked. I don't care. You can be a hungry orphan. I don't care. But if it disturbs something about me, yeah, I care then. If I lose my dignity over it, then I care. But I'm also the slaves and all that, that's also not something I approve of. Like, if you're some slave watching and you're like, oh, he thinks it's cool. No, I don't think it's cool. Okay, if I had my way, that would not be allowed. And I'm doing my best to help you too by putting this on the internet where anyone can see it. So I am, in a very roundabout way. You're at the very lowest of my priorities, but you still are one of my priorities. You know, ultimately my doors are open to everyone. And that's a significant point. Well, maybe I'm just high. But while I'm high, it is a significant point because it implies that you've reached a state of love, and that whatever someone did, it doesn't matter. It implies that you would never ask someone, what are your sins? What have you done? What's wrong with you? It implies that you would never do that. Because people do that. It's uncommon to find someone who isn't pegging you in the hierarchy of, can I bully you or can you bully me? Which way is it? Do I need to be subservient to you and be really smiley? Or can I be really mean to you? It's very rare that someone isn't like that. And to say, I don't care, this is retarded. It implies that you've gotten out of your own skin, that you don't have skin anymore to get under. Like you've become your inner self. Your skin is just your skin then. But I think I just died inside when I said that. It really hurt me to say that somehow. It felt like I wasn't even alive. Maybe that's how it feels to be stagnant. There is a sort of weird smile that Paulina gave me, which was like super powerful, but also really limited. Like she's the supreme master, the total witch. I'm in control of you. I've reduced you down beneath me. And now now my claws are in you, and now I can totally manipulate you. And I'm thrilled by it. And you see the thrill in their eyes. And you say, that's like excitement. That's not like peace. That's not like contentedness. That's like the thrill of a hunt. And where are you without your hunt? You're probably getting another 20-pack of beer. You're probably planning the next party, and you're planning the next hunt. You're probably between hunts. Literally, you're probably saying all the time, where's my next fix? I would love to just stop drinking water today. Oh man. Do you know how good a dry fast feels? It's deadly. It's deadly. It's not. It's like doing crack. You know, you think it's healthy. It feels so good. Yeah, it's because your body can't cleanse or heal when it has no water. Cleansing and healing is actually painful. Or at least difficult. Your body also is regenerative. While you're cleansing and healing, to mitigate the pain of that, your body is actually getting stronger too. So you do feel like, even though this is a toxic load going into my system, I'm still getting less toxic overall. I am regenerating too. Yeah, I like Marx. We have this advertisement comes on about Marx a lot, because this one cop kind of gave me a hard time. He's like, where did you get your boots? And I was like, they're from Marx. But actually they're from a thrift shop, but originally they're from Marx. We get the best pants from Marx. I think I had drank a shot or two. I think I was in my legal limit that night, but I was really mouthy to him. And he was just a fucking... I wouldn't want to be that guy's wife, I'll tell you that. He was one of those, I'm going to psychologically dominate you too. This doesn't end until I see you cry. He was one of those kind of people. Now, I did that on my mom once. I was like, we're going to stop talking about foreskin restoration and circumcision and how bad it was you snipped me once you cry. Once you cry, then the conversation is done. I did that to her too. I felt really bad about it. I felt like if I didn't do that, she wouldn't have understood. I don't know if it's the same thing with this cop guy. But anyway, we get these Mark's Work Wearhouse shiny pants, fleece lined or not fleece lined. The not fleece lined ones are super cool for the winter, and they're so good. Probably my favorite pants. As good as my ninja pants. When I got my ninja pants and my shoes, which didn't really fit, but still it's the thought that counts. I basically was at the point of losing my life, and I was becoming self-hating. At which point you would have no desire to look good or to wear ninja pants or something that makes you look cool. When you think everyone hates you, why would you try and look good anyway? It's really sad when people get bullied. It's actually really sad. It's really, really terrible. And I've seen people get bullied so badly in school, and I know it happens in adult life too, and it's really terrible what it can do to your self-esteem. But now I like looking good again, and I think I don't know if my ninja pants are my favorite, but it's either those or the Marks. I think I'm feeling better now, and I should drink more water. I don't really have the excuse anymore. But it is difficult. I feel that still. I feel what you're saying. I sometimes feel like Stu is literally just a cat. Osho says that animals can be enlightened, even though it's rare. I sometimes wonder. If Todd, like when Todd would talk, he stopped talking a year before he died. His talk was always so fresh. He was just the freshest boy. When he couldn't talk anymore, he gave me the fresh boy look. And now I'm stuck with Stu. Yeah, really hammer it home, Stu. Yeah, Stu, you're so fucked up. It's actually funny how fucking Stu. Sure, Stu, I'll give you more food. I know. You're actually really smart, Stu, to be literally trying to harm me for not giving you what you want. That is actually a very good strategy, and you are getting what you want, and you're not as stupid as it looks, Stu. And ultimately, when you say your doors are open, it's a significant point. You're saying even to the people who, if they killed Todd, if that's what happened, killed Todd, that's the significance of it. Yeah, Stu, but I don't know where your food is. I mean, did I leave it on the counter? I don't know where I put it. I can give you cooked food. I actually might, but I would rather give you raw. Better to give you raw. Okay. Yeah, so these are what he's gonna get. These are $5 each for this insane fucking stupid shit. Can my mom just buy a whole chicken for that? Yeah, but would she give it to him raw? No. Would that defeat the point? Yeah. Do I personally prefer not supporting factory farming and going the expensive kidney diet formula? Yeah, kind of. Or going to the healthy butcher. I kind of don't agree with that. I don't know. The animal always knows. There's a lot of ex-pig and cow farmers who say when we'd send them to the slaughter, they knew. And I couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't do it anymore. You think I'm being airy or a puff or something. If you watched it, you would sob. If you watched what happens to them, you would realize how fucking you can't look. Oh, this is way too much. Oh my god. He's not gonna eat all this. Oh man, this is one of those things where you shouldn't do things on a... Okay, so heat it up first. Yeah, Stu. Alright, we're getting there. Yeah. Why don't you tell me again? Just tell me over and over. You could probably get a few more meows in per breath. You could probably micro meow between each breath. I'm gonna take the things out of your food that will harm you. See, now you get it. Shut up, Stu. Look, now he's not meowing all of a sudden. I'm just doing this now for fun. I'm just seeing how long he's not going to meow for. Yeah, Stu is scientific. I told my mom, Stu has no brains, no looks, he has nothing. She said, oh, don't say that about Stu. I said, well, he's deaf, he can't hear anyway. But she clearly didn't agree. She said, Stu doesn't have looks? Are you joking? Yeah, okay, let's see if you think Stu is ever going to be a breeder. Like one of those cat. Have you ever seen what a breeder cat looks like? They have piercing blue eyes. They look majestic. Stu is Walmart sale for $19.99. Stu is ordinary cat. Okay, you can go to any place in the whole world to adopt a cat, and you'll find one that has, strange white coloring on their paws, and it's really, wow, it's really unique. Now Todd was something else. Todd's original name was Triton before we got him. Titan. Was it Triton or Titan? I can't remember. But if it was Titan, they understood ultimately what Todd is. I slept next to Chelsea once, and I immediately realized that she was so angry at me. I dragged her into the bed, and I said, can I draw shapes on your back and you guess what they are? Like, I'll write a letter and you just guess what it is, and I'll try and spell a word. She was like, no! She was so angry at me. And then I became conscious of my breathing, that even my breathing was too loud and it was going to disturb her. And she had told me that she would sleep at the very edge of her bed when she was sleeping with people. You know how you kind of share a bed sometimes. And she didn't want to take up any space. A consistent theme throughout her life, just sleeping on the very edge of the bed just to not take up any space. And I felt like I related to that. I didn't even want to breathe. And so I was suddenly very conscious of how loud I was breathing. And I left early in the morning before she woke up, and I didn't want to deal with her wrath anymore. She had thick, she was thick. Nice thick bones and a Clydesdale plus on the lower side. I think she was good. And her dad was, I think if I saw him, was so gorgeous. I think her mom just kind of snaked that. I'm not surprised her mom and dad are not together. I think her mom kind of snaked a baby from him. And then her mom wrote on her boyfriend's public account, "The sun comes out of your head. That's how much light shines from you." Something like that. "Today you are such and such years young. Today you are 50 years young. And the sun shines out your head. And I'm like, yeah, okay. She told Chelsea that she doesn't have enough room for her on her farm and kicked her out of her farm. I'd put Chelsea above her mom. But I'm not so sure about Chelsea. Like, before the phone call got hung up with Marina, I was telling Marina about Chelsea, and I was gonna say, don't worry, Marina, you're as hot as Chelsea, and your proportions are more to my liking, so you don't ever have to worry about her. But Chelsea's older mentally. Chelsea's like 70. And, well, does that really matter? No, because it's not a competition, and yeah, that's the final point, because it's not a competition. And to Chelsea, it is a competition. Chelsea can't be with me because to her it is a competition. Chelsea's not a true ordinary person. She's an ordinary person. She's playing the whole hierarchy status game and all that. And if I was liking Marina as much as Chelsea, Chelsea would say, no, you have to like one of us more. But I've already learned the secret, sharing a pig with Travis, which is, it doesn't matter at that point. When you love your friend who you're sliming a pig with, you're not saying, who do you like more? You're not saying that. You're actually in love with your friend too. Even in, like, not in a gay way, but maybe. But, you know, you're in love with your friend too. And it's not what you think it is. You know, it's not the hierarchy you think it is. Clearly something has went wrong with humanity. And what that is monogamy. If you want to fix all the world's problems, if you want to be guaranteed the world's not going to get fixed, just keep being monogamous. That's called a sexual cartel. A cartel is a union enforced by machine guns. A union protects a better person from replacing a less good person. A union removes a free market. A union removes freedom. A sexual cartel is monogamy. I just fed you, Stu. I don't know what you want. Oh, right. You need to see that it's too cold out for you. I will let you out, Stu, but you won't like it out there. Look. It's so cold. You wouldn't want to go out, would you? Okay, whatever you want, Stuart. Okay, here you go. Alexa, timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
Okay, Stu. Wow. You're really adventurous, Stu. Where is he going? He's running. He's looking for Todd. He would often do that when Todd would be there. Todd would be outside. Stu would just have to go outside. He's literally running around looking for Todd. He would always do that, you know. If Todd was outside, he'd be like, where is Todd? Where's Todd? And he'd have to go outside just to find him. And then once Todd would come in, Stu wouldn't want to go outside anymore. And Todd would groom Stu sometimes. And Todd kind of bullied Stu once in a while too, I have to say that. But I think that's after Todd had his heart problems and was in pain. And you could see why anyone would bully Stu. I mean, Stu is just impossible to deal with. He He makes you get up off the couch. And he also doesn't use the litter box, which is a huge sign of disrespect to cats. If you look at a cat, you should close your eyes while making eye contact with it before you look away. Subtle signs of respect like this, Todd is very aware of, that Stu is not. And I could tell you just by meeting a cat, is Todd going to bully this cat? Or is Todd not going to? I could tell you which ones he'll bully, because I know the ones who aren't respectful. No, I did abuse Todd once. He was going near a skunk. I picked him up roughly by the scruff of his neck. And apparently that means he knows I love him. Because, you know, if your dad doesn't beat you, then you never know that he loves you. And then he bit me, you know, I gave him my finger. I said, here, punish me. You know, you can bite me. Okay, I humiliated him by doing that. He was like, oh, I can investigate this skunk. This skunk in a bag, not even aware that Todd and I are there. And I just roughly pick him up. And he's all fucking fucked up already. Todd is already has so many issues. I pick him up so roughly, totally humiliate him, like, oh, you could never handle a skunk, Todd. As if the skunk is even aggressive. As if the skunk would even attack to begin with. I felt totally out of place. It humiliated me on a deep level. A few other things I've done wrong to Todd too in my life, which are not quite as bad as that. But one time I scared him intentionally. I chased him till he was scared. And yeah, I wondered if he became retarded after that. But I don't think so. I think we did heal from that. He knew why I was angry at him. I had hosed him down in the shower. I'd pick him up, hold him against the wall in the shower, spray the water on his face. He didn't care at all. He just looked at me like, I don't give a fuck about this. Because he kept eating my plant. I was mad at him. Don't eat my plant. I kept telling him. And then, you know, when I would eat lettuce later, he'd come over he'd get on the table and he'd eat the lettuce with me. And when I farted on Todd, he farted back on me too. Like he was a very particular cat. When he was eating the lettuce, he was trying to say, why am I allowed to eat the lettuce, but I'm not allowed to eat your plant? I don't understand. He was asking me, and I had no answer. All I could say is, Todd, because I'm a stupid fool, and you're actually better than me. I don't want to cry. But, you know, we all had our issues, I guess, which Todd didn't. You know, Todd didn't have any issues, and could he understand me enough to forgive me? I think he ultimately did. I mean, I'm not going to count the last time I looked into his eyes as his fresh boy face, because he was in a state of panic that and his fresh boy face would have been physiologically impossible, so he actually didn't prove to me that he wasn't still fresh at that point. He still may have been fresh, and I think he was. But at least I know that he still was fresh and still loved me after our incidences. And I think he actually chose me. I used to think all the time that Todd is actually my spiritual master. And whenever I was ready, whenever I was ready, I would have a staring contest with him and see how long it took me to have thoughts that were so uncomfortable for me that I had to look away. And he would never abandon me then. Of course, if I had those thoughts and I just forced myself to keep looking at him, he would look away because he would know there's nothing there behind my eyes anymore, if that makes sense. He would know that I'm faking it after that point. But when I had real traction within myself, he was aware of that. Like, for example, if I was in a meditative state and I had my hand on him, he would just stay there and I'd have my eyes closed. And as I felt my mind coming up too much and I was going to lose my meditation, okay, I'm about to lose it, I would know that as I'm about to lose it in a second, Todd's going to feel it. Even though I'm completely still, he's going to get up at that exact same point. So you know how a dog can read your energy? So can a cat. I would trust Todd way more than a border collie. I mean, except for Willis. Willis was my dog. He was really the best. You know, Willis was Willis was fucking amazing. Willis had mental issues. Like, he was a very complicated dog. Willis was an elite super genius in a border collie's body. It fucking Willis and Todd, they got along. I think some people wanted to separate them, but you know, it would have been Carl. Carl is like a stew kind of cat. You know, their main superpower is they're loud and they're loving. Carl is a dash hound with a huge dong. Fucking crazy huge. And Carl is the master of the family as he sees it. You know, he's there, he's the first one to bark. If something happens, he's the first one. But he's also a total scaredy cat, I think. He has anxiety. But I could have had a dog like Willis. I could have like trained a dog like Willis. Not really trained, but I could have had a communication with a dog like Willis that was... you could express it in ways that you couldn't with a cat. But I could express it with... I could go for a walk with Todd, like on busy roads, and trust him. Like, he's not on a leash. Like, he's just following me. And he's following me because I told him to. But I mean, a border collie will get you a beer. It'll go in your fridge for you. It'll get you... A cat couldn't be bothered. A cat says, "What is this?" I don't think I'd ask a border collie to get me a beer. I don't think I'll ever drink beer again. I feel like there are lizards crawling through me, and I have to let them. And it's hard sometimes. On the periphery, you let them, but then in the middle, you say, no, I'm holding on. This is going to stay unchanging. You can't change this. But then eventually, when you throw up enough or you just forget, then that changes too. It's like you can't will yourself to who you are. And sometimes it's so cool. The feeling is so good. It's like exhilarating. It's like lizard. Alexa, timer off. Stewie, are you okay, Stu? What's up, Stu? What's going on? What's going on? Are you stuck? Here, you're stuck under the watering jug. You want to come inside? Here, yeah, you're stuck again. Yeah, it's cold out here for you, Stu. I know, you don't like it out here. Ooh. Yeah, I can imagine, Stu. I was cold just being out there for 1 minute. So imagine how it feels for you as a big baby. Even though you have the fur coat for it, you're such a baby. I bet you can't even stand it. And ultimately, why would Stu be meowing? Because we've stolen him from his natural habitat and kidnapped him and we're making him live in a house. Because domesticating an animal is slavery. Would you want to be domesticated? That, if you look, that's called like, changing someone's name to Toby. It's not a process anyone would like. Now, are some cats beyond it? Like Richard. Stu, I really don't know what you want now. You should probably just have a nap. That's your best bet. Otherwise, you're just a complainer. And I think you know it. I think you have enough dignity at least to admit that, Stu. If I made food at the market, I would have if I was not vegan, I would have like the greasiest food. I'd have like bacon, ham, cheeseburger. I guess it is, I could, who am I even to say I could compete? But I mean, I've been to Shelby, I've been to DT Shawarma, I've been to Pita Pit. I try to make my own pitas. I make my own sauces. I try to make it crunchy. I get the cucumbers. I try to really get it all. I think if I actually made my own bread with some gluten flour, I could probably get the texture right to have it like Pita Pit texture. And then from there, all I'm really missing is the sauce, which the Pita Pit sauce is Mr. Sub tier.